find a comfortable seat on your mat, being sure to pull the flesh away from the sit bones so that you're starting off with a nice stable foundation, nice and sturdy and stable. Bring the navel in towards your spine and allow the crown of the head to reach towards the sky. Imagine making that spine as tall as you can. Bring your shoulder blades together and down your back, placing the hands on the thighs, palms up. And allow your chin to be parallel to the floor or slightly tilted forward. We want the back of the neck nice and long. Start to bring your awareness to your breath. Just inhaling and exhaling. And so long as it's okay for you, you can inhale and exhale through the nose. Now, if your nose is stuffy or something like that, don't force it. Just use the mouth. But if you have nice clear nasal passages, you're going to breathe in and out through the nose. Start to bring your breath into balance by making the inhale the same length as the exhale. With each inhale, allow the spine to grow tall. And then as you exhale, keep that length and begin to release tension. Relax the shoulders, relax your jaw, let the knees gravitate towards the floor. So each November, I typically like to speak about gratitude in my classes. And my students, many of them know how much I enjoy using my gratitude journal. So I brought that with me today just to show you so that you can see what a simple practice it is to keep a gratitude journal. It doesn't have to be fancy. It could be a piece of paper if you want it to be. So this is my gratitude journal, just a tiny little book. I keep it on my bedside, and when I remember, I write 3 things that I'm grateful for. And then when I'm having a really bad day, if I remember, I grab it and I look at it, and then I remember all of my blessings. So just some of my entries. Oh, this is what I wanted to read. So this is November 23rd, 2019. The 3 things I was grateful for that day. Number 1, days with no plans. Number 2, Dr. Hurd. She's our amazing vet. If you live in Serona Park, you know her. She's amazing. And number 3, my pets, because if you know me, you know I love my pets. And then the next time, I didn't enter again until March 7th, 2020. So someone needs to practice. The 3 things were sunny days, curb your enthusiasm, and my guys, my sons and my husband. So, you know, these are simple things that I am grateful for. Some days it might be something more profound, like nature's beauty. But you don't have to really think too deeply about it. You can just think of 3 things that you're grateful for, jot them down, and hopefully that becomes a practice. I am going to commit to trying harder on this because you can see I skipped some time there. But I highly recommend that. It's a wonderful tool to help you to realize how much you already have when you're in those moments where you feel like you need something or someone. So let's bring our hands together at the heart in Anjali Mudra. And I want you to go ahead and just think of 3 things that you're grateful for. They can be small, they can be big. Whatever it is wonderful. And now let's breathe together 3 times. And on the 3rd exhale, we'll share the sound of Om. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale and exhale. And for the third time together, inhale. Bow your head. Place the hands on the thighs. Softly open the eyes, looking forward. So we're going to start today with our arms by our sides. Nice tall spine, and as you inhale, arms come up overhead. And as you exhale, arms come back down by your sides. So you're moving with your breath at your own pace. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, arms down. So this little kitty is Clementine, and she's our little rescue kitty. And we got her from a wonderful rescue called Chesapeake Cats and Dogs. And you can find them on the internet and on Facebook, but they're fantastic. The next time the arms come up overhead, allow the palms to come together to touch. As you exhale, bring your hands together at the heart. Place your left hand by your side. On the inhale, grow tall as you reach your right arm towards the sky. As you exhale, begin to tip to the left. You can walk those fingertips out. You can bend the elbow, bowing out the right ribs. So try not to let the chest turn to the floor. We want to keep the chest open and those shoulders stacked. Slowly bring yourself back up, placing your right hand by your side. As you inhale, grow tall. The left fingertips reach towards the sky. As you exhale, tip to the right, bowing out those left ribs. Slowly bring yourself back up. Place one hand on each knee. Pitch forward about 45 degrees. Keeping those sit bones rooted down, start to make some nice big circles at the waist. So Clementine is right up in the microphone, and I'm wondering, maybe you can hear her. She's probably going to knock the microphone over soon. Now we'll switch direction of our big circles, keeping those sit bones rooted down. So if you're ever trying to find something to be grateful for and you can't think of anything, remember your breath. And realize how blessed you are to have that. Come back up to a neutral neck, neutral spine. Keep the hands on the knees. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to round the spine towards the space behind you. And then as you inhale, that belly comes forward and your back arches. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, belly comes forward. And then bring yourself back up to a neutral neck, neutral spine. Take your left hand behind the left hip, but make sure the spine stays nice and tall. The right hand comes to the top of the left knee. Root down through your sit bones. As you inhale, lengthen up. And as you exhale, begin to twist to your left. With each inhale, create length in the spine. And with the exhale, maybe you can twist a little further. Don't overdo it, we're just warming up here. Press down through those sit bones. Inhale, lengthen, and then as you exhale, slowly come back to center. Take that right hand behind the right hip, left hand to the top of the right knee. Press down through those sit bones. Inhale, grow tall. As you exhale, begin to twist to the right. Press down through the sit bones. Inhale, grow tall. Slowly bring yourself back to center. On the inhale, arms sweep up. As you exhale, begin to hinge forward at the hips, trying not to bend that back. When you reach your maximum fold, bring those hands down to the floor. On the inhale, lengthen. And on the exhale, maybe you can walk the hands out a little further. If you have low back pain, be mindful here. Sometimes these seated forward bends can be a little too much for those with low back pain. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge. Start to walk the hands back towards the body, and then you'll switch the cross of the legs, readjusting the sit bones as needed. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hinge from the hips, folding forward. Again, when you feel like your back may start rounding, just bring the arms down to the ground. On the inhale, lengthen, and on the exhale, fold. Slowly start to walk your hands back towards the body, and we will come to all fours, hands and knees. So all of the little picture frames that we have in our house are all dinged up and chipped because someone keeps knocking them down off of the shelves. So come to all fours, draw the navel in towards the spine, tuck the tailbone slightly. On your exhale, shift the hips to the heels, the chest to the thighs, coming to extended child's pose, which just means the elbows are off of the ground, arms extended out nice and long. As you inhale, come back up all fours. Exhale, back to child's pose. Inhale up. All fours. The next time you come to all fours, you can pause there. As you inhale, the right arm becomes parallel to the mat. The thumb points to the sky as if you were going to shake someone's hand. And then if it's okay for you, the left leg sweeps out. So here, you're making yourself as long as you can. The fingertips reaching forward, the heel reaching back. Navel draws in. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to bring your left knee to the right elbow beneath your belly. And then as you inhale, extend. Exhale, draw together. Inhale, extend. 3 more on your own. You're trying to keep the rest of your body as still as possible. When you finish, you can lower the right hand, lower the left knee. Take a moment, shift back to child's pose. You can rest the elbows here. Come back to that balanced breath. And once again, come up to all fours. On the next inhale, that left arm sweeps out parallel to the mat, thumb points to the sky. If it's okay for you, the right leg sweeps out. So again, we're making ourselves as long as we can. Draw that navel in. And on your next exhale, the left elbow and the right knee come together beneath the belly. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw together. Inhale, extend. 3 more on your own. When you finish, you can just come to child's pose. Bring your hands in close to the knees and just press yourself up to kneeling. As you inhale, the arms sweep up. On the exhale, you're hinging forward, the chest towards the thighs, the hips towards the heels, the hands come to the mat. So we end up in our extended child's pose. Then I want you to use your core to unhinge, coming all the way up. And then we hinge. So you're just moving in and out of this hinge, really trying to use your core. So when I first started doing this, I was in yoga teacher training. I couldn't do it. I had just had a baby, didn't have core strength. Then over the years, I developed core strength and it was really easy for me. Now it's really hard for me again. I'm a little bit out of shape. So you're trying not to really push off of the ground to give yourself the momentum to get up. You're really trying to use the core, but if you need to push up a little bit, that's fine, and just work your way over time to strengthening those core muscles. And now we'll hinge forward, resting in child's pose. Come back to the balanced breath. And come back to all fours, hands and knees. We're going to be practicing side plank pose, but we're going to do it with a modification to start. So let's see here. I'm going to show you, I'm going to demo real quick because with the being on camera, it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing. So you're going to take your left knee, lift the toes, and then just kick that leg out to the left a bit and then lower the toes. Then you're going to roll to the big toe side of your right foot. So the big toe side of the right foot is on the ground, left knee is on the ground, and the left foot is sort of like a little kickstand. So here you're going to stack your shoulders, open the chest, reach the fingertips towards the sky. So you want to lift up out of your wrist, lift up out of the shoulder. Don't dump the weight in there. Breathe. Lower the right hand to the mat, coming back to all fours. Shift back to child's pose. Inhale up all fours. Let's do the other side. So this time you're going to kick that right leg out a little bit at the knee. Roll to the big toe side of that left foot. You can have the hand on the hip or reach the arm to the sky. So focus on keeping the hips lifted here, reaching up out of your wrist, out of your shoulder. Lower the left hand. Come back to all fours, shift back to child's pose, and bring yourself back up to all fours, hands and knees. Next, we're going to visit plank pose. We're going to start on the knees. So a lot of times students just don't want to do a knee down plank because everyone else is doing the knee up plank and just makes them feel like maybe they're less than or something. But If you don't have the proper strength to hold plank pose and you're trying it, you really do run the risk of injuring your low back. So a knee down plank is perfectly fine to help you build up the strength. So we start on all fours, and I just want you to walk the hands forward until you really feel that core turn on. Tuck your tailbone slightly. Draw the navel in towards the spine. Breathe here. Shift back to child's pose. Come back up all fours. So next we'll do it again, but you'll have the option to bring the knees up. So we start on all fours. Another way to come into the knee down plank is to take the knees back until you feel that core kick in. And then for regular or knee up plank, you can curl those toes under, lift the knees. So here we want our shoulders above our wrists. Draw the navel to the spine. Breathe here. And again, you can have those knees down if it's better for you. Lift up out of the wrists. Don't dump the weight in the shoulders. Make that neck as long as you can. Lower your knees. Shift back to child's pose. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, you'll walk your hands out to the left as you bow out the right ribs. Bring those hands back to center. And on the next exhale, you'll walk your hands out to the left as you bow out your right ribs. Walk the hands back to center and bring yourself back up all fours. Step the right foot forward between the hands. On the inhale, arms sweep up as the hips lower towards the mat. Keep the navel drawn in towards your spine. Lower the hands, one on either side of your right foot, and then curl the toes under on the left foot. Reach through the heel, letting that knee just float up off of the mat. If it's okay for you, well, for everyone, we want to come up onto the fingertips because we don't want to dump our weight into the wrists. Then if it's okay for you, you can bring the hands to the top of the right knee. Breathe here, stay like this, or extend the arms out nice and long in line with the ears. Lower your left knee, uncurl the toes. Lower your hands, one on either side of your right foot. Shift the hips back as the right toes come up off the mat. Fold forward, stretching that right hamstring. Shift forward once again. Step that right knee back to meet the left. Take a moment to shift back to child's pose. And then bring yourself back up. All fours. Step your left foot forward between the hands. On the inhale, arms sweep up, hips lower towards the mat. Navel reaches in towards your spine here. Lower the hands, one on either side of your left foot. Curl the toes under on the right foot. Extend through the heel, that knee floats up off of the mat. Come up onto the fingertips. And then if you'd like, you can bring the hands to the top of the left knee. Stay here or bring the arms in line with the ears. Breathe. Lower the hands, one on either side of the left foot. Lower the right knee, uncurl the toes. Shift those hips back, the left knee and left toes float up as you hinge forward. Shift forward once again. Step your left knee back to meet the right. Take a moment to shift back to child's pose. And then bring yourself back up to all fours, hands and knees. And we will begin to transition into downward facing dog. So curl the toes under. Start to shift the hips towards the heels. Knees lift as you press back. Coming to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Let's make sure the hips are pointing to the back of the room where the wall meets the ceiling. So you can bend both knees, keep them bent, and then shift those hips back and up, and then begin to lower the heels towards the mat. From here, we'll float forward to plank. You can do knees up or down. Focus on your breath. Shift back, down dog. Float forward to plank. Shift back, down dog. Start to walk your feet forward towards your hands, coming to Uttanasana, forward fold. Relax the head and neck here. Place the hands on the hips. Press down through the feet to bring yourself up to Tadasana. So when we place the hands on the hips to come out of a forward exhale, hands together at the heart. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hinge from those hips. As you inhale, come halfway up. As you exhale, fold. Press down through the feet. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, fold forward. So I'm going to give you an option here. Inhale, come up halfway. So you can stay just like this or extend those arms out in line with the ears. That's really going to bring your core into play. Focus on your breath. Exhale, lower. Relax the head and neck here. You can turn the head gently from side to side. Place the hands on the hips. Press down through the feet. Come up to standing. So we're going to take a nice wide stance on the mat. Outer edges of the feet are parallel to the outer edges of your mat. As you inhale, arms sweep up. And then as you exhale, hinge from those hips, folding forward. Coming to Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. Bring the hands to the hips, press down through the feet, coming up to standing. So from here, we'll come up on the heel of the left foot. Turn the toes in slightly. Come up on the heel of that right foot, toes turn out 90 degrees. Bring the arms parallel to the mat. This is super exciting for me because I couldn't do this a couple weeks ago because of my shoulder, but it's getting better. Gaze out over those right fingertips. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, let the right knee bend. So we find ourselves in Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. To make this more gentle, you can place the hands on the hips. Make sure that the right knee is not going out past your ankle. The right knee is tracking more towards the pinky toe, and you're rooting down through the outer edge of the back foot. Bend that right elbow so the fingertips point to the front of the room. And then as you exhale, begin to tip to the right, forearm to the thigh. The left arm, I might be getting my lefts and my rights confused right now, and I apologize for that. So this arm, you're going to take, so it's the bicep is right over the ear. If that's a bit much for you, you can take the hand to the hip. Next, if you want something more challenging, this is optional. You can lift this hand that's on your thigh away from the thigh, reaching it towards the front of the room, and that core will just fire up. Make sure you're breathing. Bring that forearm back to the thigh. Press down through the feet. Bring yourself up to Warrior 2. Straighten that right leg. Lower the arms. Feet come back to parallel. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hinge forward. Relax the head and neck. Focus on your breath here. And I want you to just revisit those 3 things that you were grateful for. Place the hands on the hips. Press down through the feet, coming back up to your wide-legged stance. So we're going to do the other side. So if I got my lefts and rights confused before, just make sure you're doing the other side. We'll come up on the heel of that right foot, toes turn in slightly. Come up on the heel of that left foot, toes turn out 90 degrees. Arms come parallel to the mat. Gaze out over the left fingertips. Take a breath in. As you exhale, you're going to bend that left knee. So I'm going to place my right hand on my hip because my shoulder is starting to talk to me a little bit. I'm going to give it a rest. So I'm modifying my Warrior 2. Bend your left elbow. On the exhale, tip to the left, forearm to the thigh. Your right hand can be on the hip, or the arm can be so that the bicep is in line with the ear. Either one is fine. This is extended side angle pose. If you'd like to take it deeper and work on the core, you can lift that left arm away from the thigh and breathe. Bring the arm back to the thigh. Press down through the feet. Use that right hand to bring yourself back up to Warrior 2. Straighten the left leg. Lower the arms. Bring those feet to parallel. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, fold forward. Relax the head and neck. Start to walk your hands towards the foot that's at the front of your mat. Pivot on your toes and step back to downward facing dog. Float forward to plank. Lower your knees, shift back to child's pose and rest. Come to lay on your belly. Cross the forearms in front of you, rest the forehead, and then bend your knees and rotate those ankles. Reverse the direction of the ankle rotation. Let the ankles become still. Lower the legs down to the mat. Bring your arms by your sides, palms face the sky. As you inhale, your head, chest, and arms simultaneously lift up off of the mat. As you exhale, they lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. The next time you lower, you can cross the forearms in front of you, rest the forehead. Bring your arms back by your sides, the palms face the sky. This time, as you inhale, the head, chest, arms, and legs simultaneously lift up off of the mat. Exhale, lower. Inhale, head, chest, arms, legs, lift. Exhale, lower. 3 more on your own. When you finish, you can just come on down, roll over onto your back, and hug the knees to the chest. Once you are on your back and hugging those knees in, you can rock gently from side to side. Become still. Lower the soles of the feet to the mat. Bring your arms by your sides, the palms face the floor. We're going to practice dynamic bridge pose. And before we lift, I want you to draw the pelvic floor up and the navel in. That's going to really bring your pelvis to neutral and engage the core. Engage both glutes, press down through the feet, lift the hips. On the exhale, lower. So you're keeping the pelvic floor drawn up, the navel in. Engage the glutes, lift. On the exhale, lower. Continue moving here, using your breath to guide you. The next time you lower, pause for a moment. And then we're going to change it up a bit. So again, pelvic floor draws up, navel draws in, engage the glutes. Press down through the feet, lift the hips. So we're going to march the feet slowly. So I want you to really engage the left glute. Draw the right knee into the chest, lower the right foot. Engage the right glute, draw the left knee into the chest, lower. See if you can do 4 more on each side without lowering the hips, but if you need to take a break and lower the hips, do so. When you finish, you can lower those hips and hug the knees into the chest. Take your time if you're not finished. So next, if you have a yoga block, I want you to grab that. If you don't have a yoga block, if you have something else that's really lightweight, you can use that. And if you don't have anything, then you're going to just pretend that you're holding something. So I was mentioning how I've gotten a little bit out of shape. So the next thing that we're going to do 10 of, and I guarantee you, I'll be sore tomorrow. So as I said, we're going to do 10 of this next thing, but be mindful of your low back. If your low back starts to hurt, take a break. So you're laying on your back with the legs extended out nice and long, holding a block between your hands. And again, if you don't have something, just pretend. Bring the arms up overhead. So you're going to lift your arms and lift your legs. Pass the block to the feet, and then lower the legs, lower the arms up overhead. Lift the legs and the arms, grab the block, lower the legs and the arms up overhead. So that was 1. We're going to do a total of 10. So each time you lower the block above your head is another rep. So we lift the legs and the arms, lower the block with the feet, lift the legs with the arms, grab that block, lower it overhead. Keep going. Try to keep that low back pressed into the floor here to help you recruit the right muscles. You can also do this with one of those exercise balls, the balance ball. All right, I think I've got 3 more. Hi, Clementine. When you finish, you can just drop the block and hug those knees into the chest. Rock gently from side to side. And then keep the knees hugged in. Bring the arms out like a T, and then press the soles of the feet up towards the sky. So I'm going to give you 3 options today. Option 1 is this, just holding those legs up in the air. You can have a bend in the knee, they can be straight, either way is fine. Option 2 is to lower that right leg until it's about 2 inches away from the ground. Bring it back up. Lower the left leg until it's about 2 inches away from the ground. Bring it back up. Option 3, lower both legs until they're about 2 inches away from the ground. Bring them back up. So you can pick whichever one is better for your back. And just make sure you're watching that balanced breath flow in through the nose and out through the nose. So if you're doing both legs, see if you can do 4 more. Alternate legs, 2 on each leg. And if you're holding the legs up in the air, you can just continue. When you're done, hug those knees in. Rock side to side. Keep the knees hugged in. Bring the arms out like a T. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to twist to the left. So you're tipping the legs over to the left. Left leg comes down to the mat. The right leg rests on top of it. Allow the feet to be on the ground and just watch the breath. Start to draw the knees back up. On the next exhale, you can tip those legs over to the right, twisting to the right. Start to draw the knees back up. Place the soles of the feet on the ground. Bring your arms by your sides, palms face the floor. Draw the pelvic floor up, navel in, engage the glutes, lift the hips. And we're going to hold the pose. So watch the breath flow in through the nose and out through the nose. Slowly lower the hips back down towards the mat. Draw those knees into the chest. Place the right hand on the right knee, left hand on the left knee. On your inhale, the knees pull away from the chest as your arms straighten. On the exhale, hug the knees in. Inhale, knees pull away. Exhale, hug those knees in. Lower the soles of the feet to the mat and bring the feet as wide as your mat. Your hands can rest wherever they're comfortable. Let those knees sway from side to side. Let the legs become still, and then let the soles of the feet come together as those knees open up out to the sides. Just watch the breath, and once again, revisit those 3 things that you're grateful for. Gratitude is a practice, and the more we practice, the more of a habit it becomes. Start to draw the knees back up and then extend the legs out nice and long. We'll begin to transition into Shavasana, which is our last pose. If there's anything that you need to be comfortable for the next 5 minutes, please feel free to grab that. And I just use a little stopwatch here because I haven't had my watch on, my Apple Watch for over a week now. And it's a little bit freeing because I'm so, always keeping track of everything. So anyway, I just have to use this today. So go ahead and lay down on your back, legs extended out nice and long, arms by your sides, palms face the sky. Take a nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, just let it all go. Allow your whole body to just sink into the floor. Let the eyes just rest in their sockets. Create a space between the top and bottom rows of teeth to relax your jaw, and let the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. Allow the shoulders to just sink into the floor and let the feet flop open. Allow your natural breath to take over. Resist the urge to make subtle movements. Rest in Shavasana. Slowly start to deepen the breath, becoming aware of the room once again and becoming aware of your body. Start to make subtle movements that might feel good, like wiggling the fingers and wiggling the toes. You can rotate through the wrists and the ankles and turn the head gently from side to side. Stretch through the arms and the legs like you're just waking up. Nice full body stretch. And then roll to the right side in the fetal position, and we'll stay there for a few breaths. Keeping the eyes closed if you'd like, use those arms to bring yourself back up to a comfortable seated position facing the front of the room. Once you get there, you can bring your hands together at the heart in Anjali Mudra. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me this morning, working on developing core strength. And remember that when you are doing things to develop core strength, you really do have to find a balance, because many of the things that we do to build core strength can aggravate the low back. But if we build a strong core, we can help to relieve low back pain. So you really have to find what works for you, because you don't want to injure yourself as you're trying to heal yourself. And if you ever have questions about it, let me know, and I'm happy to give you tips. As you go through your November, I encourage you to start to practice gratitude simply by writing down 3 things that you're grateful for. If you can do it every day, that's fantastic. I really am going to try to do it every day. I just have to not put my piles of stuff on top of my gratitude journal. And of course, I want you to know that I am so grateful for each and every one of you. This sense of connection that I feel being able to provide these classes to you all is just priceless to me. So I thank you all so much. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be free from suffering. May you have ease and well-being. Namaste. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful day.